It's Nikko, Nikko. It's Nikko, Nikko. It's the Nikko Show. I'm ready. It's Nikko, Nikko. Y'all start the Nikko Show now. It's Nikko, Nikko. Nikko forever coming. Nikko forever coming.
Welcome to the Nikko Show. We're back again with a new guest, Mr. Calvin Ockletree. He is the author, and he had just released a book, and it's called Hear My Cry. It's everywhere. It's at Amazon. It's at Barnes & Noble. You can get it. It's basically his life in poetry. So, what was the reason that you wanted to write this book?
The reason why I wrote this book is because I wanted to really introduce people to who I really was. So many people were caught up on all of the organizations I was a part of, seeing me on campus, knowing me for what they saw on the surface level. They don't know who really I was on the inside.
Okay, so I did read a little bit of your book, and there were a couple of things that I wanted to talk about it. A couple of quotes that I kind of like cling to, I guess, if you will. But in your first chapter, Motions, I cannot go back and I cannot change my past. Looking at the hourglass, wondering how it still lasts. So kind of give me your idea behind that.
Okay, so to put that into a compact, strong statement, because that's really a strong phrase that means a lot.
Yes.
But to put in a compact statement, it's like literally, for me, in my personal opinion, walking day by day, dealing with the people that I've dealt with, they always seem to only want to remember for me for what was my past.
Right.
And even though no matter what I'm achieving, no matter what I'm doing, no matter how far I'm going, no matter how many degrees I'm obtaining, they still is like, nah, there's no way. Even though it's being done, they only want to still keep me in that hourglass, stuck in that time. So I question myself and say, how does it still last?
Right. And I don't get it, why, and honestly, I think it's not for people to get. When you evolve, I think life is about evolving and about changing, yourself around. You're not different, but you are different, if that makes sense. Like you're this new person, but you still, you act the same, you still do some of the same things, but it's just you're a better version of yourself.
Exactly.
And people, they don't understand that, and they're never gonna get it. And of course, sometimes I wish I could change my past, but at the end of the day, I know that honestly, what is that gonna really help? Because if I change my past, it might change my future, and my future might end up better, than it would have been if I was able to go back and back to the past or whatever, and change that. But another one,
okay,
I wanted to talk about in your chapter, why the constant disappointment. Now that's heavy.
Yeah.
What is behind that chapter?
That poem, By the Constant Disappointment, it literally, I was at a point in my life where I was questioning my existence, who I was. Like, literally, I had succumbed to listening and starting to believe what people would say about me and how they felt. I started to take that on as myself, and a lot of people don't want to admit that. First off, I'm a male, literally pouring my emotions out in a poetry book. That's different already itself.
Yeah.
So, I was afraid to really share that with someone, so I put it on paper, because why the constant disappointment? It's just like, no matter what way I turned, it was just like somebody always just want to shake their head and wave their finger. Like, it hurt.
It does.
But I would still get up and try to put on that fake veil, like I'm okay. And I wasn't, man. So that's what that means.
Yeah, and I could relate to that because all my life I allowed people to put me in this box. And for so long, I'm an artist. And for so long, I never thought that I would be able to go out there and do what I'm doing now. And my music is really healing for me. It's like I reflect on my past, but I am facing my challenges for the future. So I can see things better now, and I realize the amazing person that I am and that I was. But because people saw that in me at that time, I didn't know it, and they tried to, tear that down. I don't know. Just people are really harsh.
They are.
It's crazy.
We're dangerous mammals, man. Like it's just, having the power to choose, and then the power to then also inflict your opinion on someone. People don't know how dangerous that can be.
It can.
And it does sometimes take some people out. Real talk. Sometimes it does. But, they say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's a lie, bro. Like, to me, that's a lie.
Words hurt.
Words hurt, man. They do.
But I mean, honestly, like I said, for my children, I want to, change the story for them. I don't want to be able to just be complacent in, raising them in terms of being emotionally there for them. I want to be able to let them know, there are going to be times where your feelings are going to be tested and going to be tried, but you have to stand firm in yourself to where that can't nobody tear you away from, what you're meant to be or who you are.
And I don't think without me going through what I went through to be able to put those poems in that book, I don't think I would be able to feel how I feel now without knowing how it is to feel lesser. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
So it's like now that I know what I don't want to feel like anymore, and I know what I should have never allowed myself to go through, what I put myself through, my own personal mistakes, I know, like I was able to create my own blueprints, and now I know what not to mirror anymore, and what not to accept from others.
Yes. So. Yeah, of course. We cannot accept the same things from these people, and even down the line, people still try to come back and do the same things that they used to do, and you just got to be able to set those boundaries.
Yeah, boundaries, man. It's cool, and and take it a further deeper. I've had to learn to accept that when people had to set their boundaries with me because of who I was. Like so even though I know I'm different. There are people that I want to know that I'm different, but because of how I was, those boundaries are set. See, it also plays because I know that I might have made somebody else feel that way, or in reciprocal, So it's like, man, it's humbling.
It is. So moving forward, it's still this chapter, but I love this quote, infatuated with temporary feelings. And I know this
just a heavy.
This hit me so hard because I just know that I cling on and hold on to temporary feelings. And this is something that I'm currently working on, and I hope that as I get older, I'm able to learn to decipher long time and part time.
Yeah.
Because it's a different Take a full time, part time.
Yeah.
It's the difference between the two, and you gotta know.
Yeah.
Because there are so many people out here that you'll meet and you'll think that it'll be a forever thing.
Nah.
And it's not.
Nah, not at all, my brother. Nah. So, infatuated with temporary feelings, I'm even gonna hit it on a broader spectrum. Relationships, for sure. That's like numero uno, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But even in the sense of like other things you may struggle with, so let's say, for example, alcohol. Infatuated with temporary feelings, like those temporary feelings sometimes drove me to drink. You get what I'm saying? And then it's like, now listen, I'm telling you. So it's like, Yeah, so it's like it drove me to drink, and then it was like, all right, I'm still dealing with that, and I'm still stuck on that feeling, but then now I'm stuck on drinking. So it's like, it would lead to other things, you know? And I'm like, yo, like, we gotta break the cycle. Like, we gotta let this,
It's going and going.
we gotta let this go. And if you don't, bro, it's gonna turn into a snowball effect. So if you don't catch and recognize, like, if you don't recognize that you're infatuated with something that's only temporary, part-time, as you say, you need to, reevaluate your priorities and then love yourself more, too.
Yes.
Because that's where I really found out. That's why I was really infatuated with temporary feelings, is because I wasn't feeling myself.
And just recently I had to get everything removed away from me to really get time alone. I always was a person that did not want to be alone. I want to always be around people. I love people. I always tell them I still love people. But I don't want to be around that many people like that anymore.
Man.
Because it's really draining. It's a lot. And it takes a lot from you, and it stunts your growth as well, because you can't ever be everybody's friend. One thing that my father told me, it's hilarious, because he only got a handpicked few friends. I said, yeah, you need to go out, you need to do more. But no, seriously, you don't need 5, 6, Joe, Jan, Amber, all these people, in your space, because it can overload, and the negative, especially if it's negative energy,
it takes you down.
And it's like, it's gonna take you a minute to bring you back up.
Bro, you said nothing but a word, because I was that social butterfly. I was like, I didn't necessarily have my own crew, but like, I didn't need it. You could look at me as a lone wolf, but it's like, I could go be a part of everybody's crew. Yes. We go on second, we kicking with the white folks. Where we go there? We gonna go down here, we gonna go to Church Street, or where we gonna go? Hey, we gonna travel, go here, that. Bro, you put me around anybody else, bro, I'm gonna adapt.
Yes, for sure.
And the fact that I was adaptable, it made me likable, but then I started noticing I was spreading myself thin, and they weren't, reciprocating that same love and time. And I'm like, I spent so much time feeding into y'all, like, just really loving. Like, being loving, like, I don't really need nothing back or nothing, but that don't mean I don't want it back. Like,
yeah, people are crazy.
And then it's just like, I have to realize people are only going to meet you where you allow them to meet you at.
And like, going back to those boundaries, if you don't set those boundaries, people are going to do what they want. They're going to say what they want and feel like they can do anything. And at the end of the day, they can't. And I've been learning, y'all. I'm telling you, and it's a beautiful experience. It's like I'm in a cocoon, and I think I'm still in the cocoon. I don't think I graduated to the butterfly yet, but it's a learning experience when things change in your life, and you shouldn't think it's bad or think it's wrong. You should embrace that change and embrace that you're becoming a new you. A better version, a 2.0. You know what I'm saying? You should embrace that, and I'm embracing that, and I feel like you are too.
It's gonna get harder though. You know that, right? It don't get easy. You know how they say when you get baptized, when you get baptized, they say, that don't mean it's gonna get harder. The devil's gonna try you. You know what I'm saying? It's harder. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. The devil's gonna try you hard. You get baptized, that doesn't mean that it's gonna get easier with your relationship with Christ. Nah, it's gonna get harder, because now the devil knows that you are a warrior for Christ, and now he's gonna test you.
Yeah.
So just know, as you were in this cocoon and as you gradually grow into your butterfly, just know there's gonna be those doubters, those haters. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be those people that are like, no, there's no way.
He's supposed to be doing this.
Yeah, like, oh man, how you doing that? Like, just, and it's like, yo, why
are you hating?
Why are you hating? Yeah, like, why are you mad? And it's just like, why when and it be the same people preaching that we supposed to be together and act together, like come together as a people. And I'm just like, you guys are a little, twisted.
Yeah, it's different.
So be ready. That's just my words of encouragement to you, because like, I've come into my version 2.0, and man, I thought, I would have got more love, and it was more so just like more skews and like, people not even all the way hate, just petty.
People are really paid.
They're very paid. So,
but yeah. So, in terms of, let's dive a little bit deeper into the reason that quote, infatuated with temporary feelings. Kind of share with the audience, like, why did you put that in there? What was that about? Or what does that mean to you? What does that mean to you?
Infatuated with temporary feelings. Now, we talked about why I wrote it, but then, you write something that may not, I get it. It's always like a silhouette to why you wrote. Like, when I was writing that poem, what was going on? Yeah,
what was you thinking about?
What was I thinking about? I honestly was wondering why I was a selective hoe. Very a philanderer in a sense. Very much.
You're hilarious.
Very much so. Because honestly, like, why was I a cheater? No, I'm comfortable with saying that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's honestly what I was feeling, and that's what I was going through at that time I wrote that poem. And it was just like, I want to do right. But I don't understand why I'm so infatuated with these temporary feelings. But then I learned, and I finally, went to therapy, and I started getting help, and I started talking about it. I fixed my relationship with my mother, which had a big issue with why I was like that. And I was able to now put definitions to my actions and know the reasons why. And I had mommy issues, and I hadn't forgiven my mother for a lot of different things. And I was searching, for my mom through sex with women. And, the nurturing aspect that I didn't feel like I didn't fully acquire from my mom. Now, she's a phenomenal woman, and she did what the hell she had to do to make sure we were okay. And maybe because she was doing what she had to do to make sure we were okay, she didn't have time to make sure all that other stuff, the little things I felt like I was missing.
Right.
But that doesn't mean they didn't matter, though. But now that I'm an adult, I get it, and I've forgiven her, we cool. You know what I'm saying? Still one of my best friends. But back then, when I wrote that, Infatuated with Temporary Feelings, I was like, why do I keep fucking up? Like, I want to do right by this person, but I want my other persons, the temporary persons. That's why when you said part-time, I was like, ooh, he kind of like exposing me right now.
But no, I love just being able to, share your story, and somebody else can be touched like that and know that, seeing that you able to get through, all of that and make it, like you can help anybody. Yeah. So I love it. But moving along, okay. I want to talk about Trapper Vibes.
Hey, yeah.
So this young man asked me to be a part of his show. So basically, I'm not gonna get too much stuff because I want you to introduce everything. But it's like a little intimate setting. Where he gets artists, poets, singers, rappers to, perform a few pieces, and, the people of Nashville people from everywhere, but just to show their talent and be showcased. And I was able to be a part of two, and I love it. I actually like that better. I haven't did a big stage yet on my own, like as a solo artist, but I like the intimate setting. Because even though the big stage is cool, but it's like, I don't feel like on a big stage you can hide, and you can't hide when it's intimate. Yeah. And it kind of, it makes it, harder, but it's like, I feel like it helps you in a way, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like it helps you to be this bigger performer. Yeah. So just tell me where Trapper Vibes came from. Shout out to K-Dot.
Yeah. So definitely shout out to K-Dot615 on IG. Yeah, she definitely helped me then put the show on a platform. So the business Trapper Vibes started way before a show. So a lot of people don't know that. So when I started Trapper Vibes, I was overseas in the military. And I was deployed and I was in Kuwait, matter of fact. And I had a vision board and I said I wanted to create a dad hat. So it started off with me having diamonds with the drip on it. I literally, all Trapper Vibes were literally dad hats. I was selling dad hats.
Okay.
But I knew I wanted it to be so much more. I didn't know how. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I was like, yo, I'm going to start with the dad hats.
Okay.
Then I started customizing jean jackets, which I still do.
Which are really nice.
Yeah. And the point of me creating Trapper Vibes was where nostalgia meets urban culture. And that means so much to me because there's always that ripple and disconnect between the younger generation within our culture and the older generation in our culture. So
Yes.
I wanted to create something that represents something that could bring them together, whether it's me putting, I had truckers wearing my hats. I had, grandmas wearing my hats. I had kids wearing my hats. It was available to everyone. I was putting in, my target community was the world.
Yes.
And then I started customizing jean jackets. That again, target community, the world. But then I was like, my passion. I gotta add my poetry, me becoming an author, I gotta turn that into something.
Right.
And I was like, but I want to create that. I enjoy seeing other people do their passions on a stage. You're not gonna be charged to come perform, No, just if you are free and you're available, come share what you love to do.
Yes, I love it.
You know what I'm saying?
I love
Like that's why I created Trapper Vibes. And when I found, and I did, I saved money from creating the hats, selling my jean jackets. My parents invested in me. And then I put my book out and I was like, I got jean jackets to sell. I had merch. I was like, you know what? I'm going to start my show by promoting myself.
Right.
And so it's like, I'm going to throw the show and I'm the owner of Trapper Vibes. And I'm promoting my book and my passions. So if people want to know what Trapper Vibes is going to be, this is what it looked like. So I threw the first show by myself, and Kata had heard about it. And she said, let's keep it going.
Okay.
So she was able to help me with different venues, plug me in with people in the city that I didn't have connections to. And then we just kept it going.
I just love the fact that even the event is a networking experience. Like you can meet this person, meet that person. And I love the idea of networking because you never know who you'll meet and who they can plug you to. And I think that's just the entertainment industry in just general. That is just what it is. It's just all about who you know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I love the fact that you've created a space for artists like me to share their art, because my art is everything to me, and I'm pretty sure you feel the same.
Dude, I love it, man. Well, yeah, my art's cool, but his art is, man, I love your music. My first off, like you heard me mention my mom, she adores your music.
Oh
man.
Lord.
Like, so I hope you ain't mad at me. I went ahead and sent her the songs.
No, it's okay.
No, I called her the other day. She was in the car listening to your song. I said, is that Nikko? I said, is that Nikko? Are you listening to Nikko? Yeah, man, she loves. So you didn't know my parents were the two people.
Right, I did.
She adores your music, man. She's like, when he coming back? Like literally. So trust me, she's a fan.
And I really appreciate that because when I started putting my music out, I wouldn't say it was for people to love it, but I think the idea is I hope somebody likes it. But it's really pouring my soul out into a song. And I tell people this EP is really, and it's a lifetime thing on my life in an overview, but it definitely dives deep into the last couple of years of my life. So it gets real.
Yeah,
it's definitely real.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm really glad I'm getting some good reviews from my music because I worked really hard. I had some long nights. It was one night I stayed up to 7:00 trying to produce this song, and my mom was like, "You crazy?" But no, it's just the dedication that I had, and I think that's very important.
That's what
when you're trying to put something out.
And what they say, like when you find your passion, you never work. You never work another day in your life when you find out you start doing something you love.
Right.
I know those staying up at 7 a.m. You know, I may not be writing music, but I'm writing poetry, and it's all one the same.
Yes.
You know, so you know, you didn't know this. I write songs. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know,
and they're wrong being a songwriter.
Yeah. So it's like I'm trying to perfect that because you know when you take poetry, you gotta kind of like cut words out. You gotta make it minimal to where it's catchy. You can't just throw out there and be all extra wordy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I get it.
Yeah, so it's just that like no, I have my nights. You know, last night I got off work and I stayed up and I wrote 4 poems. You know what I'm saying? Like it's to me it's not a job. It's what I do. I have my little beverage to the side and I get to go and write. And honestly, that's my journal. You know, like that book right there, you want to know? Like, that's a journal. Yeah. Like, that's a journal. Like, and honestly, a lot of people want to know, like, what is this book, bro? Those are journal entries. My journals were poems. You know, that's how I communicated with myself.
Right.
You know, people say we're crazy, right? Because we talk to ourselves, but no.
That's crazy.
No, I'm not crazy. You know, I literally have to put this stuff out my brain before I go crazy.
Yes, literally. But my next question, what advice would you give to a young writer who's out here trying to figure out what they want to write about, you know, what they want to do, and kind of stuck and don't know if they really want to do that?
Man, if you would have talked to 12-year-old Calvin, like, I would have never dreamed of being an author. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like, so I do remember the journey to becoming an author.
Okay.
And when I tell you it hit me so fast, it's all about who you know and being in the right place in the right time. And my advice, I'll get 2, is don't let nobody tell you how you should do your passion, write your book, what it should look like, fit in the norms. They want to print out a author checklist of, this is what's acceptable. Do you? Because if you try to put something out there that mimics something else, then what's going to make you stand apart? And what's going to make you shine if you sitting there following another wave? Mm-hmm. I can say this. There's no other book like my book because I chose not to follow the norm and stay true to who you are and don't let nobody tell you different and tell you have to change. Like, that's the biggest thing, man. And then the number 2 thing is that I have a camp. My camp, my support system for the book support. My book support, man, is very small. 5 people, I could count it. Because I'm very private about that stuff, because there's not one lie in there. I experienced everything I put in that book. The truth is I was afraid to put this book out. And if it wasn't for my camp, like, look, we're gonna take this book from you and we're gonna put it out if you don't put it out. So you wanna make sure you have a good, solid support system. That's my tool.
And you know, putting out, and I feel like putting out work that is close to, you know, what you are going through, is better than just doing, you know, what you hear or whatever somebody else is doing, because like I told you, it's healing. And I was very nervous for one of the songs, How You Really Feel. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones.
I was really nervous about that song because it's definitely about somebody in particular. So I was definitely nervous. And I'm currently writing another song about somebody in particular. And it's like, it's very nerve-wracking, but I think it helps me get through what I've been through and, you know, moving past.
Release.
Yeah, so I definitely, just go ahead and release it in the atmosphere. Let, you know,
get it out.
Yeah, but
it feels good too.
It does. It did feel good, and the video and everything just made it complete. It did.
Yeah, man. I had a breakdown after I put the book out. No, but it was a good breakdown.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
like you know, I ain't gonna lie. After
It's
my
belief.
show, after I did my segment, man, I started hyperventilating and I had to step outside the building. And there was only 3 people that saw me out there do that. They were like, whoa, because I had to hold it together. You know what I'm saying? Like it took a lot for me to put that out there. If people really knew, this is just 111 pages of it. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh-wee.
So yeah, hell yeah.
Well, that's all I have for you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you for coming on. This is Mr. Calvin, Hear My Cry. And please look up Trapper Vibes. And can you spell it out for me, please?
Oh, TRAPOSVIBES at Trapper Vibes on IG, at Trapper Vibes on Twitter as well. And then yeah, that's it. Thank you for having me, man.
No problem. Thank you for coming out.
Always.
You guys be safe for the holidays. Peace out.